All right, the deal is finally done. Aaron Rodgers is heading to the Jets. The New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers coming to an agreement on what the compensation would be for the future Hall of Fame quarterback. And I'll tell you what, Jet fans, I think you gave up a little bit too much, but in the grand scheme of things, it's all going to end up being worth it if they do end up winning a Super Bowl. And Green Bay, you wanted to move on from Aaron Rodgers. You moved on from him. I doubt you're going to find a third straight Hall of Fame quarterback after Favre and Rodgers. So you're now back to mediocrity and nobody fears you. Nobody is afraid of Jordan Love at quarterback. Nobody is afraid of this Packers team. But I'm going to go through, break down what the trade was, what each team got, what the impact is for the AFC, the Jets, and the Packers in the NFC moving forward, and the draft coming up this weekend. But before we get into that, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. New videos every single weekday. But let's get into it. All right, so the million-time Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in the regular season to ever play the game of football, probably the most talented guy to ever play quarterback at the position as of now. Aaron Rodgers is heading to the New York Jets in exchange for a nice haul for the Packers. Honestly, the two sides have been trying to work this thing out after Rodgers came out from the darkness and said he was going to play for the Jets. They had to come to a trade agreement, though, and it kind of stalled a little bit. The plan was to always get this done before the draft that's happening on Thursday, because you want to get the pick this year, because the Jets' first-round pick, if you're going to get it, or second-round pick, is going to be a lot better this draft than it is going to be next year, probably, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So the two sides were kind of balking at each other. The Packers had some leverage, but not really. They weren't going to put $63 million in cash on that team, hold him out there, have him sitting there, not even playing. They weren't going to do that, so they kind of had to get him traded before that money was due to Rodgers. And the Jets kind of wanted to get this thing done. Hopefully this means Rodgers will maybe be in mini camp with some of the guys, throwing to his new receivers, getting some of the kinks worked out, getting the timing down. He knows the offense. The Jets brought in former Packers offensive coordinator, former Broncos disgraced head coach Nathaniel Hackett to run the offense. So it's a Rodgers offense. The Jets are all in on Rodgers, and I don't blame them. They had no quarterback play last year. They had a top 3 defense in the NFL. They were one of the most elite groups when they actually believed they could win. Kind of fell off a little at the end there, but man, it was such an anemic offense. I can see why they lost some faith. They were so good against the top teams in this league, and it just kind of ran out of gas because it was just a awful situation at quarterback. But now they got future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, who's coming off a down year. Let's be honest, Rodgers had a down year last year. You know, only 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, decent, not great, 64.6% completion percentage, 217 yards a game, and embarrassingly a loss in their final home game in Lambeau on Sunday night against the Lions that would have sent them into the playoffs. They lose that game, and it's all over in Green Bay. So now he moves to the Jets, but let's get into what the actual compensation was. So the teams got this deal done. Adam Schefter tweeting this out. So they're going to swap first-round picks in this year's draft. The Jets are sliding down to 15, Packers moving up to 13, so that's 2 spots right there. The Packers will also receive a second-round pick from the Jets this year, pick number 42, and a 6th-round pick this year, pick number 207, and a conditional second-round pick to a first-round pick based on the percent of snaps that Aaron Rodgers plays. Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps next year. It'll be the Jets' first-round pick next year, which is pretty easy to do. It's basically injury insurance. If Rodgers gets hurt, he is 40 years old, then the Jets aren't going to have to pay a first. They're going to have to give a second up, though. So it will be a total bust. But if he does play, gets the Jets into the playoffs, it's all gravy. It will cost their first next year also. I was kind of really off on this. The Jets will also get pick number 170, a 5th-round pick this year. So they kind of do a little swapping here. It's honestly not as bad as I originally was hearing. You know, people forgot to mention the Jets were swapping ones this year. A lot of people just said it was Aaron Rodgers and a 5th-round pick for 2 ones essentially and a 4 and a 6th. That's crazy. 2 ones, a 2, and a 6. That's crazy. But I'm a little bit better now. It is 2 spots. There is value there in those 2 spots. The Jets are probably going to look to pick up an offensive lineman, and they'll probably still be there at 15. The Packers now in prime position to get one of the top wide receivers off the board, possibly move up even further if they want to, for their new quarterback, Jordan Love. He's the starting man in Green Bay. Good luck, Green Bay. He had a nice game last year when he subbed in for Rodgers at Philadelphia, but that was like 1 quarter. He was real mediocre 2 years ago when he filled in when Rodgers wasn't able to play due to COVID against Kansas City. I mean, I don't know. The word is good. Some say he's good. Some say he's bad. I just don't know. But the odds of you hitting on 3 straight Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the draft are almost essentially 0. You're more likely to win the lottery, I would think, literally. But we'll see how it goes in Green Bay. Now, I know the Jets players absolutely ecstatic. Look at them. They're all changing their profile pic. Here's poor Zach Wilson crying in the corner there. They're all putting in picture of A-Rod from Cal. And speaking of Cal, he will not wear number 12 with the Jets. That number was worn by Joe Namath. It's retired. He said he would let Rodgers wear it if he wanted, but he's passing on that. He's not touching Joe Willie. He's going to wear number 8 like he wore at Cal. So number 8 for the Jets. 2 elite guys at quarterback now wearing 8. Obviously, the other one being Kirk Cousins. I kid. I know. So 8's a good quarterback number. Lamar Jackson also wearing 8. So it's a good number for quarterbacks. There's a positive sign. Or maybe it's good regular season quarterbacks don't quite get it done in the postseason. But this is a very exciting news for the Jets. They got their quarterback. They're all in on the Super Bowl push. And the Packers, we'll see what they do in the draft. I know Rodgers is going to punt his TV screen when they finally draft a wide receiver in the first round this year. I expect them to pick a wide receiver at 13, which was absolutely hilarious. It's the ultimate FU to Rodgers, a complete and massive troll for them. But let me know what you guys think on this trade. Who was the winner? Who's the loser? Obviously, we got to see how Rodgers plays. But do you think it was the right compensation? Did the Jets give a little too much? Maybe they should have stood pat, waited a little bit longer, forced Green Bay's hand, because Green Bay doesn't have to pay that cash to them now. The Jets will. They're still going to take on the dead cap, but they don't have to pay the cash. There's no owner. They don't have much cash in Green Bay. They might have to sell a bunch of fake stock again to raise that money for Rodgers. But let me know what you guys think. Again, the NFL draft this Thursday. We'll be live streaming the first round of the draft. So come by, hang out, watch all the madness. It should be a fun. I think it starts at 7 o'clock Central Time, so 8 Eastern for the first round of the NFL draft. I'm going to put out another mock draft this week right before with my final predictions on the picks. So it should be a lot of fun this week. I love draft week. I love the draft. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.